morning on November 30th. It is a cold day. It is, I guess, the coldest weather we've had this semester, and that has sort of heightened people's concerns about the difficulty of being outside and how that makes it a little bit tougher to deal with the mitigation of physical distance and the virus. But we'll do our best, and I think the main issue I'd like to emphasize today, because we've seen a proliferation of cases with the virus, is that the more intentional you can be about keeping at a distance from people, the better. I know I'm very self-aware. Sometimes I'll forget my mask, but I try to wear it all the time. But I'm always conscious about the physical distance issue, and I think the more you can think about that issue, the better. And I don't mean it just in terms of classes or, when you're formally sitting somewhere like in the theater right now, the small group that's here. But during the day, when you're around people, that's typically where we've seen the biggest problems with people who go to gatherings and they just forget, and they're close to people, and there's no way we can sort of protect them from either getting the virus or being quarantined. And both are tough. So please, obviously, again, the virus is worse, but, being out of school that long or just sort of not being able to go anywhere that long, that's a tough issue. So speaking about the cold weather, we have created some options for study halls, for example, and I'm talking about D, E, and F blocks, or the 4th, 5th, and 6th periods. During D block, the 9th and 10th graders for study hall, please go to your assigned study hall room, even if you are on PL. 11th and 12th graders, assuming the quad's too cold, you can go to Pfeffer, the library, or the Lowry Student Center, and if it's too crowded, we'll open up DPS. And for the E and F blocks, 12th graders, you can eat in the dining hall or in the Lowry Student Center. 11th graders, you can eat in the dining hall. 9th and 10th graders, your food service will be in the Davis hallway. You can eat in the Paschal Theater or in the dining tent if you don't mind the cold. The 7th and 8th graders have gotten separate information earlier, so I won't repeat that for you. You know what to do. I'm sad to report that Mr. and Mrs. Kesser's son, Bryce Kesser, passed away last night. We knew this was imminent. Bryce was born with some very severe and serious health issues. In fact, the doctors told the Kessers that he'd probably not see his second year. He would have turned 17 in just a short period of time. So he's outlived all those predictions. They are incredibly grateful for the time they've had with him. I've talked to Mr. Kesser daily for the last several weeks because Bryce has been in hospice, and we knew it would happen any day, but it finally happened last night. I got this beautiful email from him earlier today about their happiness about being with him and saying goodbye to him last night. So I'm telling you this news simply to report on an issue in our community, and for those of you who know Mr. Kesser or who don't, I know that he and his family would appreciate a note, an email of just sympathy and condolences. So I certainly send my own to them and appreciate his family very much. I think Roman Urbanzik is out here in the hall. Is that correct? Roman, if you'll come into the theater for a second. Roman and his family let me know this weekend that he just earned his Eagle Scout this past week. He did a project involving Braille, and we are proud of you, Roman. Let's give him a round of applause. And follow up, Roman is a member of the Headmaster Singers, and they're going to come in now and sing a song. This is a way of enjoying some music on this cold day in November, and also of announcing to everybody that the annual holiday concert is scheduled for this Sunday, but we are going to have to make this a virtual concert, so we'll send out the link on Sunday. But we'll get to now hear live the Headmaster Singers, who will be performing at the concert and, of course, now. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you, gentlemen. Why don't you all have a seat? You can sit anywhere right around here. Guys, just have a seat here. I'm reminded as I listen to the singers just how grateful I am to be able to have as many events, activities as we can, and we're only going to keep doing this if we all practice what I was talking about earlier about mask and mitigations of physical distance. The more you can do that, the better, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but after watching the course of this the last couple of weeks, I think it's more and more important to keep the emphasis going. Emmanuel Barrett on my left now is going to come up and talk about a religious panel that the Tearing Down the Walls group recently held. So please come on up, Emmanuel.
Hey guys, it's Eman, and I'm here to introduce a shortened TW religion panel. So on November 7th, Tearing Down the Walls hosted a student-led religion panel. And today I just have two of the 7 panelists, Charlie Mason, a senior here at MBA, and Solid Dowk, a senior at Innsworth. And we're just selected like 3 of the questions, there's actually 7 questions, and you can view the whole panel in a link that Mr. Sawyer will send out a few minutes after assembly, and I encourage you to do that, it's just a YouTube link. The questions that they will be answering today are, would you talk about the history and some of the traditions of your religion? Have you ever doubted the existence of God? Do you think that the government should be guided by religious principles? Why or why not? Thanks.
All right, thank you, Eman. So as you said, my name is Salwa, so I'll just go ahead and answer the first question. So I'm a Muslim. As you can tell, I wear a headscarf. So a little bit about the religion of Islam. So the word Islam comes from the root word salam, which in Arabic means peace. So it's a religion that's largely based on nonviolence and peace. And most of the moral guidelines that you find in any religion, like mercy, kindness, peace, and all those kinds of virtues that we have. So we're the youngest of the monotheistic religions. So we believe in all the prophets like Jesus and Moses, as well as another prophet, and his name is Prophet Muhammad. And so we have 2 holidays called Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr, and they happen twice a year. And then we also have Ramadan, which is our month of fasting. So that's just some of our traditions. Yeah.
Hey guys, I think Christianity is the majority religion at MBA, and so most of you all know that the 2 major holidays of Christianity are Christmas and Easter, the birth of Christ and the resurrection of Christ. But according to traditions in Christianity, the Catholic saints' feasting days and then the Catholic Mass are the two major principles of the Catholic religious faith. And in the Protestant faith, the founding fathers of the Protestant Church sought to get rid of those kind of feast days. And so in terms of the Protestant tradition, there is not the practicing of the feast days or those extra celebrations that the founding fathers of the Protestant Church believed were extra and not biblical. And so those kind of traditions are a good kind of division between the Protestant and the Catholic, is that Protestants tend to focus more on a very direct biblical interpretation, and Catholics are more on the doctrine of the Catholic Church and the traditions and laws that have been founded since the day of St. Peter, who is the founding father of the Catholic Church.
Okay, so the second question was, have you ever doubted the existence of God? We talked about these a little bit in the last panel, so I'll just reiterate what I said last time. I said for me personally, no, just because I know there's a lot of curiosity and there's a lot to learn, and especially at this age, sometimes you just question the things that you've been taught by your parents and by your community and your culture, which is completely normal to do, and that's definitely something that I've done, is be curious about the things that I've been taught. But I've always found that if I'm curious about things, there's always an answer to what I'm looking for, and that's something that the religion encourages. It encourages you to be critical and think critically and be curious about what you're learning and be critical about the information that you're taking in. And so that's just something that I've learned to do and just grown and learned more about the religion. But obviously I can definitely tell how doubting the existence of God can be something that's easy to do, because there's just so many things that happen in the world, and that's something that you can really question.
During the religious panel, I think I was the only one who answered yes to this question. I have doubted the existence of God on multiple occasions, mostly because I think that Christianity, especially in a more evangelical setting, has kind of an absolute kind of imagination of what Christianity does in the world, in the sense that Christianity is always right on theological issues. And so growing up in a household, my dad is Catholic and my mom is actually a minister, I was kind of faced with both of those kind of conflicting sides. And I found that most of my doubts have originated in questioning certain founding principles of Christianity. And so doubting, I think, is something that is not as emphasized as well in Christianity as in Muslim, but in Islam. But I would say that Christians' doubts have kind of a pull and push relationship with the way that God accepts you in your doubts but wants you to come back. And so that's been my experience with doubting the existence of God, and then finding ways in which I've been brought back or pushed away since then.
All right, so the third question is, do you think that the government should be guided by religious principles? Why or why not? So I said that obviously I believe in the separation of church and state like we have in the US, that no one religion should be guiding what the government does or doesn't do. Just because one person's belief shouldn't guide what everybody else should do and how they should behave. But on the other hand, I do think that a lot of religions have basic moral values, and that a lot of times that seems to be something that you don't think of when you think of politics, and people like to think of politics as something that's corrupt and immoral. So I do think that there should be more of a moral standard to politics and government, but not necessarily have one religion govern the government.
I think I'm also in agreement with Salah here. Obviously, government should be dictated by strong and morally correct principles that guide the way that politicians make judgments or are influenced by other factors. But the founding fathers of the United States created the separation of church and state for a reason, so that one religion would not dictate to others. But I do think that there are, and I think maybe the whole point of this panel was to show people that the similarities between religions in terms of their basic moral fabrics are almost, if not identical, very similar. And so if governments were influenced more by the moral principles that all religions share, then I think that's something we actually need more of today.
Thank you, Saul and Charlie, for sharing your thoughts again today. And I hope everyone enjoyed this abbreviated panel. But again, I encourage you all to view the full panel with all the panelists, because they all did a fantastic job. And that link will be sent out after assembly. And also in that email that Mr. Story is sending out will be a link to an event that Jason is about to give an announcement about. But again, I know it just means a lot to a lot of people on campus when we engage in these conversations. It means a lot to me too, because when we're eager to engage these conversations, to get to know each other, to become more connected with one another, that's how we develop a more inclusive community. And so I encourage everyone, even just to try it out, shoot me an email if you'd like to be a part of this. Even younger students like junior schoolers, just shoot me an email, it's fine, be a part of this, everyone's welcome. And now Jason will make an announcement about the event next Monday.
Hey guys, I'm Jason Zhu and I'm the president of the Mba Asian Club. So we're gonna have a joint meeting with Tearing Down the Walls, and we're gonna be collaborating with them to have a panel on the Asian American community next Monday at 5:30 in Pfeffer. And additionally, next week at Assembly, parent of MBA alum Kong He, class of 2015, Sam He will be speaking at Assembly, and he has some great stories that I think we could all benefit from. And I guess on a personal note, I think as an Asian American, it's super important that we don't ignore the discrimination that unfortunately it inevitably happens in our community. But if we're able to shine a light on these problems, as the religion panel just did, I think we could gain a better understanding of why these things happen instead of just accepting it. So I really encourage you all to come out, whether that be in person or virtual. So like Eman said, Mr. Sari is going to be sending out an email with the form to sign up, and Eman will be sending out some more information as well. So remember, 5:30 in Pfeffer next Monday. So thanks.
Thanks, Jason. And Charlie and Sawa and Eman, thanks as well for sharing your thoughts today. Really important, as you said, to express those beliefs and viewpoints. And I'm proud of what you're doing with Tearing Down the Walls and what everybody else is working on as well. We have an annual drive for cold weather gear. And Dr. Sherrill is going to come up with Leo and JD right now. Is that right?
Good morning, everyone. I'm here with 8th grader Leo Peliki and 7th grader JD Bashing to tell you about an opportunity to help homeless children and teenagers in the Nashville area. Today marks the beginning of the MBA Cold Weather Gear Drive. And from today until January 22nd, we'll be collecting a variety of items needed to help keep our neighbors warm during the winter months. JD is going to first tell you a little bit about what they need most.
Over the next few weeks, we ask that you bring the following new or gently used items in child and teen or adult sizes: winter coats and fleeces, hoodies, jeans and sweatpants, gloves, hats, and scarves. We also need hand warmers, chapstick, rain ponchos, blankets, and small denomination gift cards, $10, $15, or $20, to 24-hour restaurants, Crystal's, and McDonald's.
Junior school guys, you should take your items to your advisory. High school students can drop off items outside of the service club. You can also give by visiting our virtual drive. The link to the service club virtual drive will be given out by email, and it's also on the service club webpage. While we need help from all of you, there are special prizes for 7th and 8th graders. You can win snack break fast passes, movie theater candy, and advisory pancake breakfasts, depending on how much you donate and what participation you get. Mrs. Williams will send all of the details to the junior school advisors. The things we collect will go directly to Unicycle and Oasis Center, which will be given out to the homeless kids, served by them. Look for more information in the daily announcements.
Great, thank you. If you have any questions, get in touch with me or Ms. Williams, and we look forward to collecting a lot of items this year.
Thank you. So last week, just a few athletic events. Bowling team defeated Nashville Christian 24-3 and lost a really close match against Good Pasture 13-14. Varsity hockey defeated Hendersonville 11-1. Sort of thinking about the quarantine problems I mentioned, our basketball team, who hasn't played as yet, have been under quarantine, but they're back. But their games have been postponed and canceled to some extent, so there are no games this week or weekend. We do have some great events on campus this weekend. The Big Red Marketplace, which is basically a holiday store, will happen on Saturday, December 5th, this Saturday, from 9 to 2 in the dining hall. And the Big Red Store will be open in Lowry for Blazers and More sale, also from 9 to 2 on Saturday, so there should be nice synergy among those two sales. I know you'll think about the Kessler family, and I hope you'll enjoy watching the religious panel link that you'll get after assembly, and you'll also get a link to watch the holiday concert this Sunday. Thanks for your attention. Have a great week.